Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be creating this pricing cards for a pricing section in Figma. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with a frame. I'm going to click on F so I can use one of the presets. Under the desktop options, we're going to use this one named desktop. Next, I'm going to change the fill to black. So I'm just going to change that. And we're going to add a layout guide, change the type of guide to columns. For the number of columns, we want 12, change the opacity to 20, and we are going to make the margin 120. And yeah, next up is our text. So I'm going to go to my notes. This text is going to be in the description box below. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to click on T so that I can assign a text, and I'm going to select this and just paste my text in. Let's change the typography of this text. I'm going to change the font to Space Grotesque, and I'm going to change the size to 42, and the line height is going to be 50. I'm going to copy this text and create another one. We're going to change the size of this one to 22, and size is going to be 30. Let's now grab our text, and I'm going to copy this and then paste. I'm going to create another copy of this text box. Let's change the font to Inter. Size is going to be 18 and the line height is going to be 26. I'm going to grab the text and I'm going to copy it and paste. Change the alignment of the text to center, and I'm just going to increase this. I want the text to be on 2 lines just like this. So the width for me is 521 if you want to use the same size. I'm going to create another copy of this text box, and I'm going to come back to my notes, copy, paste, change the resizing of the text box to auto width. Let me get closer. I'm just going to move this to the side. Next, we're going to need a rectangle. So I'm going to click on R and insert a rectangle. The width of this rectangle is going to be 50 and height is going to be 26. And I'm going to come over here and I want to select one of these dots that says corner radius and just drag it till it's completely rounded on both sides. Next up, let's add a stroke, and we're going to make the stroke white, and then you can remove the fill. We're going to insert a circle, so I'm going to click on O and then insert a circle, and the dimensions for this circle is going to be 20 by 20. Let me just do it here, 20 by 20. And we're going to change the fill of this circle to white. I'm going to align it so that it's on the center here, and it's going to be 3 from the top, 3 from the bottom, and 3 from the left of the rectangle behind it. Select the circle and this rectangle, make it a frame, and I'm going to select this to make it a frame. Alignment should be center, and we're going to make the gap 10. I'm going to select this text box and just create another copy and just bring it out of the frame so I can create the other one. I'm going to go back to my notes. I'm going to grab the text, which is yearly, and I'm going to paste. Next is going to be a rectangle. I'm just going to draw this. The width of this rectangle is going to be 85 and height is going to be 20. So it's just coincidentally, so you can just change the height to 20. Select one of these dots, drag till both sides of the rectangle are rounded. I'm going to now change the color of this rectangle to FAF392. So that's the color, and I'm going to grab a copy of this text I'm going to use my right square bracket to bring it to the front. Let me change the fill of this to black so that we can see it. Let's go to typography. We're going to change the size to 14 and line height to 20. And I can come and grab my text, which is saved 20%. Come back to my frame and then paste. We're now going to align this text to the center, both the vertical and horizontal center of this rectangle. Select both of them, make it a frame using Shift A, and we're going to have this. Select this and this, make it a frame, make the gap 10, and I'm going to zoom out. Let's select this two, make it a frame, and I'm going to make the gap between them 20. Now select all of these items, make it in a frame, and gap between all of them is going to be 20. Alignment for all of them is going to be center. And I'm just going to align this to the center of my frame like this. So now we are now going to go ahead and build the actual cards. I'm going to start with a rectangle and I'm just going to draw it here. I want it to go across 3 columns and the width for that is 285, and I want the height to be, let's see, 670. Next, we're going to change the corner radius of this rectangle to be 30 for all sides. Let's go over to fill, and I'm going to change the fill to gradient, and I'm going to rotate it. So this top that is on 0, I'm going to hold shift and then rotate it so that it's minus 90 degrees. So we have the 0% position on the left and the 100% on the right. Let's change the color for the 0%. So that's going to be FB C143. And the color for right is going to be FB 5E55. And I'm going to close. Let's insert another rectangle. So I'm going to click on R, insert a rectangle. Let's change the width of this rectangle to be 275 and the height is going to be 660. I'm going to place it over this rectangle. We're still going to move it probably, so just place it around there. We're going to need another rectangle, so I'm going to click on R. I'm going to get closer and then just draw one here. Let me make the shade of this slightly darker so you can see it over the other rectangle. The width of this is going to be 178 and the height is going to be 60. Now we're going to check, for me currently, the distance between the top of this, not the one behind, not the one that has the gradient fill. The rectangle behind is 64. I want it to be 76. So I'm going to move this rectangle down, currently 72 from the top. And then now it's 76. So what we're looking at is this rectangle should be aligned to the left edge here, and then the distance from the top of this rectangle to the top of this one should be 76. Now select both rectangles, go over to the Boolean options, and I'm going to use subtract. Now that we have this new shape, we're going to go over to corner radius. We're going to make the corner radius 25. And I'm going to move it till it's aligned to this one. If you're not too sure, you can just select both of them, Alt H, Alt V. And that way you align their horizontal and vertical centers. These are the actual buttons. So if you want to align it horizontally, and this is when you want to align them vertically. The fill for this is going to, let's use black for now. When we're done, we're going to change all the black colors to our final color. It's just a very light shade, different shade of black. I'm going to just change it to black. Now we can go ahead and start adding the content of our cards. I'm going to come over to my notes. I'm going to copy this first text, click on T so I can insert my text, and I'm just going to paste it. I'm going to change the font to Space Grotesque. I'm going to make the weight medium. Size is going to be 32 and line height is going to be 40. And I'm going to change the alignment of the text to left. Color is still going to stay at white. I want to check the position of this, so I'm just going to hold Alt. So I want it to be 23 from the left and 20 from the top. So I'm going to move it till I have 23 from the left of this subtraction. So the rectangle we have in front, I want it to be 23 from the left of that, not the one behind. 23 from the left and 20 from the top. I'm going to create a copy of this so we can create another text. I'm going to change the color of this to black for now, and I'm going to change the content to just 0. Let's change the size to 40, or rather 48, not 40. And I'm going to leave the line height at 40. I'm going to create another copy. Make this regular, the width regular. Size is going to be 20 and line height is going to be 28. I'm going to come over to my notes and just copy this other text. And I'm going to paste. I'm going to bring this down, select this 2, make it an auto layout, and I want the alignment to be down or bottom. Gap is going to be 0. And for spacing, first of all, align this text, make sure it's aligned to this one on the left, and the spacing between these two is going to be 25. All right, let's move on to the next item. I could just create a copy of this text box. Why not? I'm holding Alt and Shift to keep them aligned. I'm going to change the typography. So font is going to be Inter. Oops. The size is going to be 16 and the line height is going to be 24. Okay, the weight should be regular also. I'm going to grab my text for the description, copy it, and then I'm going to paste. The width of this text box is going to be 230, so I'm just going to go ahead and change it to 230. And I'm going to align it, make sure it's aligned to the center of this rectangle. And I'm going to select this, and this spacing should be 25. Next up is going to be a line, so I'm just going to click on L and then insert the line while holding Shift to keep it perfectly straight. The width is going to be 240, and I'm going to change the opacity to 40. And I'm going to bring it closer. The spacing should be 25. Next up, we are going to need an icon. The alignment of this line should be in the center. So I'm just going to move it. All right, now we need an icon. I'm going to right click, go over to plugins, run iconify. And the check I'm going to use, this check mark. So if you want to get this, just search for check and filter by icon sets, go to material symbols, and we are going to use the one from material symbols, which is this one. So rounded. And I'm just going to grab it and bring it into my frame. And then I'm going to close this. We're going to leave the dimensions as it is. I'm going to change the color to F9, F295. Oops. It should be selection colors. F9, F295. So in selection colors, I can change the color of this check mark. And I'm going to create a copy of this text box. I'm just going to change the size to 14 and line height is going to be 20. I'm going to go to my notes to grab the first item and I'm going to paste. Change the resizing to auto width. Select this to make it a frame. Alignment should be center, gap should be 10. We're going to keep these two aligned on the left. So I could just select this and just align left and then select this line, this text, and we are going to change the spacing to 25. I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to create 4 more copies because this particular card has 5 items and the spacing is going to be 20. Let me see. So currently the spacing is 20. I'm just going to keep duplicating till I have a total of 5. One more, and now we have 5 items. Let's now copy in the rest of the content. So I'm going to copy the second item and then paste. I'm going to copy the third, select everything and paste. Let's move on to the fourth one, paste, and then finally I'm going to copy and then paste. I'm going to create a button at the bottom of our card. I'm going to start with a text and I'm just going to type get started. I'm going to change the font to space grotesque. The weight is going to be medium. Size is going to be 16 and the line height is going to be 24. We're going to add a fill. Oops, not that one. Let's make it an auto layout. I haven't made it an auto layout first. So make it an auto layout. Padding for the top and the left and right is going to stay at 10, but we are going to change the padding for the top and bottom to 6. I'm going to select this rectangle behind that has the gradients because I want to use the same gradient for the fill. Control Alt and C, and then select this Control Alt and V. Although it's still going to have the same corner radius, we're going to reduce the corner radius to 12. And I'm also going to change the color of the text for now to black. All right. Now, for the position of this, align it to the center first, center of the rectangles, and then it's going to be 30 from the bottom. So 30 from the darker rectangle. Anyway, we are done with the first card. I'm just going to zoom out, and now I'm going to select the entire thing, and then I'm going to group it. We can now use this to create our remaining cards. So I'm just going to create the second one, the third, and then finally the fourth. Let's now start working on this one. I'm going to go over to my notes so I can copy the title or the heading for this, paste. The price is going to be 24. And I'm going to grab the description, copy it, and then paste. I'm just going to remove that extra line of text. Let's grab the content. I'm going to copy and then paste. Move on to the second one. I'm going to copy, paste, grab the third, paste, copy this, paste. Next one, we're going to need one more, so I'm just going to select the last one and then create another copy, and then I'm going to copy and paste the content, and I'm going to grab the text for the button, also paste, and then I'm going to realign this button to the center of the rectangles. Now I'm just going to select the entire group and then go over to selection colors here where it's linear, so we can change the color of the rectangle and the button at the same time. We're going to change this to B8 9E, the color of the first stop, that's 0 stop, B8 9E FF. and the second stop is going to be E8 CE FF, and I'm just going to go ahead and close this. We can now move on to the next one. I'm going to come to my notes, grab the title for the first one, and then paste. The price for this one is 59, and I'm going to grab the description text, copy, and then paste. I'm now going to grab the remaining text, copy, and then paste, copy this, and then paste here. The next is this, number 4, number 5. So we have a total of 7. I'm going to have to create 2 more copies. So 1 and 2, while we're maintaining the same spacing of 20. And I'm going to copy this, paste, and then copy and paste. Let's now grab the text for the button, paste, and I'm just going to realign my button to the center of this rectangle. Now select the entire group. Over in selection colors, I'm going to select this one, the gradient. We're going to change the first one to 3D E AAE. Second one is going to be 5D F5 F5. All right, let's move on to the final card. Let's start with this one is enterprise. The heading for this card, I'm just going to type out the price, which is 149. I'm going to grab the description text, copy it, paste. Now we can now grab the remaining content, copy, paste, copy this one. I'm going to paste, copy this, paste. Next is this one. We're going to need 2 more of this text. Create 1, 2. I want to maintain the spacing. Let's copy the remaining. I'm going to paste, copy this, and then paste. I'm going to copy the text for the button and then paste it and just realign the button. Now select the entire group and let's go over to selection colors. In the gradient, we're going to change this to C818 5E, and the second one is going to be F5 647E. And yeah, I'm just going to select the entire frame, and whatever is black within this selection, I'm going to change to 141414. And yeah, so I can just select all of these items, group it, select this to make the spacing 40. I don't really have dimensions. I'm not really too worried about that for the frame. And yeah, this is our pricing cards. Let's now look at it in the prototype view. So this is what our pricing cards looks like. I'm just going to first of all make it fit width. So if you this was designed for like a desktop layout, so this is what it would look like in the desktop. Or I can just make it full screen, or let me first make it full screen and then just do it like this so we can see all of that at once. But yeah, these are our pricing cards. You can go ahead and change details if you want to play around with the same different colors or corner radius or whatever. But anyway, that is it for this particular tutorial. If you enjoyed this video and want to watch similar content for UI UX design in Figma, you can go ahead and check out the description box below for longer tutorials and courses on my channel, or you could click on the video on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.